So how was your game week 26? Mine? Mother. Something very familiar about this. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Fix. I am Richard from the Dipsy Dudes, and things are going to get interesting over the next couple of weeks. It's game week 27, which means it's League Cup final time, which means we only have 8 matches, which means we are without Spurs, Chelsea, Leicester and QPR this game week. So lots to discuss, but before we get to that, let's look and have a ganders at the game week 26 Dream Team. It's a 3-5-2 formation and Man City are back in the Dream Team in a big way, with David Silva getting the big sexy points despite not playing the 60 minutes with a brace, assist and maximum bonus points. Though it should be 2 more points on top of that one. Anyone who had Aguero as well will feel my pain on that one. Next to him is Nazari, who did get the clean sheet point and 2 appearance points, as well as goal, assist and deuce bonus points. And rounding out the Man City power trio was De Zeko with a goal and double assist, his first meaty points since game week 6. Naismith made his once every 2-month Dream Team appearance in a man of the match display, while in the midfield I hope you took the advice of Carlos Kickerball, because Victor Moses got himself a goal scoring man of the match display, much like Herrera, who continues the trend of random Man United players in the Dream Team, and Coutinho, who got his second double digits display in the last 4 game weeks. Granted, he only scored 1 and 2 points in the previous game weeks respectively, but you see where I'm going with this. Finally, in defence, what a random mismatch of players this is, with Adrian saving a penalty with save points and deuce bonus points to boot, though one of the men to score past him was Danny Rose with a 10 points haul. Vigini was man of the match with a clean sheet for 9, and the most unexpected Dream Team player was Ben Mee, who got the goal to break the hearts of Chelsea fans, fantasy football managers with Chelsea defenders, and anyone who put on an acca last weekend. So that was game week 26, but what will game week 27 bring? Let's look at the players for your consideration. As we've mentioned already, we are without 4 teams this game week, and while most can probably get around the fact that QPR and Leicester aren't playing, it's a different kettle of fish with Spurs and Chelsea. 5 of the 10 most selected players in the game today are from Chelsea and Spurs. The top 3 most selected players are from Chelsea and Spurs, those being Hazard, Costa and it's gotta be Kane at the top. There's 2 schools of thought on this one. Hold out for a week and use your bench to plug the gaps in. That seems tailor-made for those with Harry Kane in their team, because the Spurs man may be missing for game week 27, but he is back with a vengeance in game week 28, where Spurs have a double week at home to Swansea and then away to QPR. That game week seems designed for Harry Kane to be the captain choice, so I'd say stick with him, so plug the holes there. However, with your Chelsea players, they don't get their extra game week until game week 34 when they play Leicester. So if you're looking for some cheapo players to fill the gaps and to rely on your bench, who is there? The West Ham Crystal Palace game catches the eye, despite the fact that West Ham have only had 1 clean sheet since before Christmas. However, you look at someone like Tompkins at 4.8 million and you think that he can come in and do a patch job, a plug the holes kind of job for this game week. However, if you're looking in the midfield, you've got a man who grabbed a goal last weekend and has 19 points in his last 3 game weeks. It's Kayate. 3 goals and 2 assists this season isn't brilliant, but 2 of those goals have come in the last 3 game weeks, so he is in a purple patch at the moment, and for under 5 million, it's low risk for someone to sit on your bench, come in this game week and then just be a backup player maybe till the end of the season. As you know, at West Ham, I'm a big fan of Sacco, and after his goal last week, his first goal since quote-unquote injury, I don't want FIFA coming after me on that one, he's still only 5.5 million, and you know that I like to back the sack, back the sack, back the sack. After Liverpool stopped them scoring last weekend, can West Brom hold out Southampton again for another clean sheet? We've talked about him before, and the Boing Boing Baggies have had 2 clean sheets in a row. Last week we talked about Lescott for 5 million, who continues to get the clean sheets. But if you're looking to get those cheaper players, those cheaper options for your bench to cover this game weekend, there's been a lot of talk about Craig Dawson. He's looking like a first team regular now, having started the last 4 league games, so as a low value option to get you through this game week, and again for someone to just sit it out on the bench till the end of the season, he's worth a shout, especially if you're still stuck on Leicester's Wallace-Siaki on your bench. Get that jabroni out of there and bring in Dawson. Newcastle were assaulted last weekend. At the end of Sky Sports' presentation, they should have put a phone number to a hotline for those affected by what they saw in that game. However, they're now back at St James's and they are up against Tim Sherwood's Aston Villa, who surprisingly didn't get a win last weekend after having that right royal barrel of Cockney monkeys roll up at Villa Park with his passion. Apparently, shouting, swearing and acting like a pub manager constitutes passion these days. You slags. But the problem with Newcastle, though, is that they've got players who are unavailable at the moment who have been players who have shown form as of late. There's a player who has been mentioned by my Dipsy Dudes colleague Adam quite frequently, that being Jack Colback. He's outdoes. Then you've also got Remy Cabella, who is Half-Life 2, Team Fortress 2 and Portal. Sorry, let me say that shorter. Remy Cabella is orange boxed. So that leaves us with a man who made an appearance in the Dream Team back in game week 23, Haidara, who's been getting some buzz going into this game week. The reason there's been a lot of movement towards him once again is his cheapness. He starts every week, he's 4.1 million, and if Newcastle are gonna get a clean sheet, on paper, at home to Aston Villa is their best chance. Now we come to a team that I haven't spent much time talking about as of late, but here we go, Manchester United. Can Man United get their first clean sheet since game week 22? Well, they're against Sunderland, who haven't scored in their last 2 games, as the dazzling Jermaine Defoe has become something of a non-entity after 5, 6, 7 point weeks, has now come in with 2-2 since then. As for Man United defenders, who is there to really go for anyway? Who is there to go for that isn't going to be a risk? The 2 starting centre-backs at the moment are Rojo and Jones, who have been piss poor all year. Piss poor points from them every single week. However, a man who has been scoring something near consistent points, which is very rare at Old Trafford this season, it's Angel Di Maria. 4 assists in his last 4 game weeks, including 3 in the last 2 games, and a max bonus point display last weekend sees him get his best point scoring run since November. There may be those tempted to drop a Chelsea midfielder and go for Angel, and with his points ticking over at the moment, is it worth a roll of the dice? Maybe even a captain spot? Maybe. Though if you are spending 9.6 million, there's some choices to be had right now. Over the other side of Manchester, you've got the big, sexy point scorer from last weekend, David Silva. 3 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 games, with Man City scoring 9 goals in their last 2 outings, and David Silva has been in the middle of all of it. However, if you've already got Aguero in your team, he's going to be a strong shout to be your captain this game weekend. But Silva, he can feed the ball from the left, he can play through the centre, and Man City are going up against Liverpool at Anfield, so that should be a slobber-knocking game all round. The thing to consider though, Liverpool have got themselves 5 clean sheets in their last 6 games. Does this mean there's going to be another shutout? They're taking care of business at the back, but this is going to be a massive test. If you were looking at Liverpool though, how about Sterling for 8.4 million or his midfield teammate Coutinho for 7.7 million? Both scored last weekend, but out of the two, personally, I would always go Sterling. Finally, for your possible midfield swaps for the Hazards and Fabregases of this world, we go to the Emirates and we look at the 2 most informed midfielders in the game today who team up once again. It's Ozil and Cazorla, who in their last 4 games have scored 4 goals, got 5 assists and 12 bonus points between them. You should already have some sort of Arsenal presence in your team already, so this shouldn't be news to you. The thing to ask is, will this be the game week that Sanchez finally returns to form, having not had a good points haul since game week 21? I know a lot of people will be tempted to go Sanchez as captain this game week, especially against Everton after they shipped 2 goals last weekend against Leicester. But is now the time for Sanchez to come back to form, or do you rely on Ozil or Cazorla? The Dipsy Dudes Divisional Championship. My word, it's getting close at the top with 14 points separating the top 4. Internet Cafe Thistle just did enough to stay ahead of the game after beating the Herbie rule despite not having any player getting double figures. Though special mention to our 30th place team, Moves Like Aga, who were our highest scoring team of the week, who had a brilliant midfield display and strong attackers, making up for a right shabby defence. Right, that's about it for this game week. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, if you like what you see, click like, leave us a comment, or hit subscribe to ensure that you get the latest Dipsy Dudes episodes as soon as they are released. We have a social media presence on Twitter and Facebook, and a discussion group at fiso.co.uk. We've had some really good feedback from our Dear Richard section from last week, so if you'd like to be a contributor, please feel free to get in touch. Use any of the social media or the FISA group to get in touch, and you could have your thoughts projected to the Fantasy Football Fix community. But until next week, good luck for game week 27, the game week for bench players to shine brightly, we hope.